Like worried about the shift.
Hey everyone. Hey. Well, thanks for coming to the second time. We're trying to have hopefully be a little smoother this time. But now that we've got our info over super, and I'm going to start and lead us with his updates before we go to the HOA meeting, and we'll let you start.
Hey, I'm Greg Sanford, I'm Lieutenant of the Area Fire Department. I'm also one of the two of your county commissioners. Just to give you a quick update on American Fire. We're seeing today right now 519 calls. It's going to put us at about calls for the year. Based on last year, we see about 750 calls for the year. So we're trying to get going, and it's only going to get worse. You guys are under a new station now over Hardeman Springs. It's called Station 20. It's the way the county kicked the can down the road to the fire department and put a truck over at 95 range where the ambulance is housed. And they call it Station 20. Area Fire Cellular control that station, and they took one of our trucks to put it down there. It's an insurance thing, insurance, some people with insurance for the ISO rating, within 5 miles of the fire station, and that's the reason for doing that. But until it, all of us have to wait the calls. Nothing will change that around. I put up some maps up here, and right now we are in the process. I'll answer the questions the group or individual you're going to do. Right here, it's a new Arrington Special Character Area Plan. So it's the district. Starts across the street from my office, corner of Cox and Murfreesboro, goes across the street this way, and then down 5 or 6 blocks right past the fire hall. We've held several public meetings over in Arrington Elementary, and the citizens have spoken to what they want to see there. Currently, we're working on the zoning right now. So the committee met last week. The committee made up of stakeholders that own property in this area, and myself and the other commissioners. And we went through a giant list and fed off what the community said they wanted. And that will be coming back to you guys for your input very soon. I will post to your HOA Facebook group in the next meeting. I encourage everybody to be there because what y'all say matters. It's not what the committee says, right? It's what y'all say. And again, it's only, I don't know the actual acreage breakdown. I think it's 220 acres, but of that 220, I believe over half of this is floodplain. So all they ever have hundreds of homes. Right now, the zoning is family zoning. It's 2 to 1, 2 homes per 1 acre. So max, to do a quick math is probably 120 homes max. Is what you see in all most of the properties over there. Not each property, but total. So it's not a huge 5 home. As far as Triune, here's the actual plan of the Triune new community that's going in. This has already been approved by Livingston County. The sewer plant was approved by Teapot and TNET. That's at the corner of Haley Lane and Brunswick Road. That was done last year. Unfortunately, John Powell, who was the developer of this project, passed away about 6 weeks ago now. He was also the developer of this community. He will also be the state wants to sewer provider for the new area from Street here. This project, the estate and some other people have taken this over, and it's going to continue. Again, everything has been fully approved by the county. There's approximately 500 plus single family homes and townhomes, which will be from Murfreesboro Road wrapping around to Malachi Lane, where the Gold's Green used to be, across the street from twice daily, up the hill, maybe up the shopping, and back down to the city. In conjunction with this, there is a lot of commercial space in here. Contracted thus far, from my understanding, is 2 hotels, full service hotels, so it's not giving us up here, it's going to be actually restaurants, bars, and everything. And multiple restaurants, as well as a large grocery store. Max space over there is 42,000 square feet. The one building could be, it's over 1 building that's going to be that big. It's going to sit directly across the street. There's the Shell right here. It's going to sit directly across the street right here. I can tell you the public's very interested in what I'm told, but they have not signed a deal. Kroger was interested. Kroger was much more of a store, and they're not willing to sacrifice square footage to sell Kroger now. They voiced their opinion about Walmart and grocery store, Dollar General store, and I just control that development. We don't want that out here. We want policy.
Maybe look at this, I'm sorry,
No worries.
too soon, but what is that projected completion, and how does that relate to the widening of that road?
I would venture to say earth on this side, east side of Horton Highway right here will be moved. We'll start seeing dirt moved, I would say by the end of this year. This would probably be first quarter next year when earth is going to start digging it. I can tell you that based on what I know and the loan amounts involved, they're going to try and get this up as quick as possible because they're paying
So my concern is that stretch of road on 96 where it's congested, you know, goes down the 2 lane. Will that be widened before or after? And I mean, can you?
Yeah, so I'm from the and unfortunately, for those of you that have not been here a long time, it took 20 plus years to get that 4-lane wide from Cox Road back towards Franklin. I can tell you, TDOT has not bought one single right of way east of Cox Road. So there was supposed to be 3 sections. They did it at Cox Road, then from Cox Road to Horton Highway was the next phase, and then from Horton Highway to the county line to the 3rd phase. They have not bought one single right of way. I'm actually saying I don't know if we're seeing all of that, unfortunately. Yeah.
I didn't get to county or that sparse that part was already hit.
So that's going to be a planning commission question. I'm not on the planning commission, I'm the county commissioner, so I handle fiduciary responsibility of the county. And they're their own separate entity appointed by the mayor. And every developer, homeowner, business school, whatever case, they have to go to the planning commission. We don't ever see them. They come across my desk and across me. I have that. That'd be funny.
I was on a meeting a while back. And there was some questions about they had upgraded all of the sewer systems and this kind of thing. And they're asking for the ones for some organization, some government agency that help fund that. And they said that they probably, we would have to probably tie into it as well. And there was discussion about cost, and so the cost potentially would significant. And
a little bit. So initially, again, the sewer plant, this thing is right here at Haley Lane and Murfreesboro Road. It's going to come down 96. It's going to come down here and over this way, across the street and go up. So it doesn't hit over here. All that is private money. It's a very expensive project. It's a $100 million project. And the new developer that's taking this project over is paying up to that out of pocket. So no public money is going to be used for that. Right now, currently, there is no sewer. So they are running new sewer lines, from Haley Lane right here, straight down Murfreesboro Road, through easements, and then down here and across. These will all be serviced as well by natural gas through Horton Highway Utility, which is going to come up this way and branch off. There's walking trails that will be open to the public, that the county did make them do. I hope that answers your question. No public money has been used whatsoever. There will be a red light here, and there will be a red light at Malachi Lane and Horton Highway. I have seen that traffic study, and I requested it because obviously we're concerned about traffic, because of the amount of this sheer influx, and unfortunately, most of this traffic we're seeing is coming in from Rutherford County. I don't, there's nothing we can do about that. I agree. But they add to our call volume unnecessarily, but I understand people have to get where they want to go. This is just a corridor for them to come through. So the traffic is absolutely ridiculous and insane. You know, especially when we have to get to a call on 840 at 5:15 on a Friday afternoon. And all y'all experience is very exciting. So, but unfortunately, we have no idea. I've been pressing Jack Johnson, who's our state rep, to get TDOT fired up to do something. But getting government to do anything I've learned in the last 3 years is very tough. So it's been very slow. So, yes, sir.
I have two questions. I know that at it's Knowlesville Road and 96 right there.
Mm-hmm.
There is no sewer on either corner, on all of those corners either, is that correct?
Right.
Can you talk of running sewer up to that intersection?
So a individual just bought this corner, and this corner is for sale. There are so many restrictions on this corner, but it's owned by Matco. Sold Matco owned this corner. It was the old Hispanic food market there. For those of you who don't know, it's kind of grass is tall, like no, but Matco bought that, and they sold it when they sold out to Circle K. So there's so many restrictions on what you can do there. They're having a hard time selling that. It's $3.5 million, where the land is worked out without restrictions, but there's so many restrictions on our efforts the other day. Another client inquired about it, and it was absolutely insane. So as far as sewer, so the sewer is a private sewer system, and there was some internal fighting with property owners over here in this area and the developer. And he chose not to run the sewer over here because of that. Now, this guy came to me the other day and says, Greg, how do I get sewer in my corner? So I made some phone calls, and with the new person that's taking over this project, they have offered, sewer's going to be right here. They have offered for him to pay for sewer to run to his property right here. That way you may see something here. I don't know. It's zones for pretty much anything. Coffee shop, Starbucks, whatever that looks like. So there was a lot of input from citizens saying they wanted local places only. Through all these meetings, and even in our committee meetings, they all want to see local places, mom and pop type places. We can't do that. They're sued, and it just doesn't work. So we can't say Mama Java's and Knowlesville can come here with Starbucks. So you control all that through zoning, and if you've been to certain places in Florida where Chick-fil-A doesn't look like a normal Chick-fil-A, but they make it look like whatever the town ordinances are. So they make it look better. So that's what we're going to try to implement in these areas to kind of address that. But directly, there is no sewer right here. The cost of running the sewer right there and go underneath that gas station is $7 million, and this guy's not going to pay that. So unfortunately, I'm lobbying obviously to get this corner, something on this corner, because I'm kind of going to put this in the lobby. But again, that's going to add to the traffic. And God forbid, if knowledge goes here, it's not on there, it's not on there. But it's going to be, because you're going to have to call on it.
So we're years away from that.
Correct. Layups. I'm gonna hang out with these maps up and go and ask any questions. We'll sit in the back and go and ask any questions. You can afterwards. When y'all had an issue not long ago, with the person and those in the woods or addressing all about what they was, I saw, obviously on Facebook, reached out to people, so they would reach out to me. And I called my friend Jesse Williams, he's a captain with the Williams County Sheriff's Office. I said, hey, we've got a problem, I need you to look into what's going on and give us an answer. So he's here to explain it all and we'll turn it over to him. Hey, y'all.
Y'all, I'm not much to wander around. I'm not as articulate as Greg is, so. I've got to tell you a little bit of history of what we're doing with the sheriff's office right now. And which way we're going, kind of maybe answer some questions that way, maybe that'll help. I'll leave some of your concerns. So we've had a few challenges this last, and you may have heard, we've had the challenges these last 2 years with the sheriff's offices. Our pay was not competitive. We were paying in the 50th percentile compared to agencies that were paying in the 85th and 95th percentile. So we were getting a lot of deputies, we would train deputies up, and they would jump to a higher paying agency where they would immediately get a $15,000 to $20,000 a year pay raise after we sent them out to training. We were caught on this vicious cycle of training deputies and not being able to hire fast enough. Thankfully, Commissioner Sanford, with the support of the other commissioners in Williamson County and Sheriff Hughes, they were able to correct that. I'm happy to say that we are, I'm gonna call it fully staffed, quote unquote. I've got a whole bunch in the pipeline coming on board. I stopped taking applications for patrol. I'm no longer willing to hire people from other agencies. I want to give these young kids that have worked in our jail for a couple of years, give them a chance to come out on the road and pursue their law enforcement training. Our response time has decreased by over 2 minutes with just the changes we've had recently. And we've added 6 bodies to patrol. We're still not where we need to be. We have a long ways to go to bring you guys the professional policing that you deserve. And I'll just tell you, I'm committed to that. Sheriff Hughes gave me an opportunity to come on board. I'm a retired major crimes guy from Southern Utah. I live down in St. George, Utah. I don't know if any of you are familiar with that. I was a major crimes guy. That's what I did when I retired. I moved out here. Sheriff Hughes was graceful. It was just great. Offered me a position and allowed me to become part of his administration. So I'm super grateful for this opportunity. Now, for the person that we saw out here, or that y'all saw out here, my understanding was that our deputy came out. She didn't want to enter the tree line by herself. I will stand by that. I want at least 2 to go in there if we're going to send somebody in there. Now, she told me that a person that lives across the street had a side-by-side, and that person rode up and down the tree line several times looking to see if anybody was in the tree line. I could see clearly there was no one there. So what we've done is we've flagged these addresses in our CAD system. Anytime we get a call out here, we're sending 2. That way we make sure that we can actually go in after that person if we see him. We haven't had a call about that person in probably, we're gonna be going on 60 days now. Sneaking up on 60 days, it's like at the end of April. What questions do y'all have for me? Oh, it's easy as ever.
Hey, thanks for what you guys are doing now. That's all day. Appreciate it.
It's a pleasure. Sure. I'm lucky enough to have a great team around me. The lieutenants on the road and the sergeants on the road, they really do a good job. If they get it wrong, y'all gotta let me know. Because that's the way it is. We're not perfect, we're human. Sometimes we get it wrong. Now, if you got a ticket, you probably deserve it. Because I've never got a city ticket since I've lived.
The second was that I don't know anything about I don't live like near that grove of trees. You said you haven't received a call about this individual for 60 days. Were there, because I've heard a lot of things that happen, but who knows, things go to their time, you have no idea. Were there like calls about this guy before our incident?
We had 2 calls close together, is what happened. So one person saw that person, and then within a day or 2, somebody else saw it, and similar person. It's not they saw somebody in black.
Then our neighborhood in the same location.
Sit close,
Okay.
besides the tree line, stuff like that. And so then once that had been ridden, once we felt pretty comfortable, once that had been ridden, and we ran up and down the road a few times and did some extra patrol in the area, we haven't had a sighting since. So I don't know if that was a kid out there playing the prank. I don't know what that was. We also had the people that were following the young girl through the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And we figured out what that was.
And that was something to be, I'm not gonna like press them up, but that was something that we need to be concerned about. Okay. Okay. And you said, okay, so 2 calls within a close amount of time. Within our neighborhood are the same growth of trees.
Close by, it was,
I just had heard, and I mean, like, you know, who knows, but that this guy had been an issue before and had been in the area. And I mean, I don't know what that means, but I don't know where that came from. So I just wanted to know if this was a situation that like people have been calling about and he's just kind of hanging out, or it might have been, okay, he thought he saw something or a kid that saw it and they were mistaken. And it to me, 2 calls within a short amount of time could have just been someone wandering through the trees and it seems suspicious. But if there were multiple calls over a longer period of time, that would make me more concerned.
sure, same. And so I pulled the addresses for this area and checked to see how many calls we had to. The other call was a couple of guys, and it was the same thing. I think the residents were on alert because some people had seen this person by the trees. So they were on high alert, and a young gal, I think she was 11 or 12, was headed up the road and said, "Hey, these 2 guys are following me," which would scare me. I would expect my daughter to come and tell me if somebody did that to her. We were able to chase those people down, get that figured out, and got them gone. Since that, we have not had another call, and prior to that, the other calls were out there with the target shooters, where we had a couple of loose rounds shot.
Okay, and I understand like you not wanting the female to go in the trees alone, but just for my knowledge, because this is confusing to me too.
Any officer.
Yeah, any officer. Okay, so they need someone with them. But then I heard like they would not enter out to look. So what was the issue with that? Like when the second person showed up?
Well, if the second person would have been available to come help her, yes. But when she got here, it had been a period of time, and that other, I won't call him a resident, had ridden up and down the tree line and said, "Hey, there's nobody in there."
Okay,
So she's like, "Hey, we can call another officer over here and go do it differently."
okay.
So
But
what she
in
did
the
is come
future,
through.
if we see something, there would be 2 officers here and they wouldn't have any qualms or problems about searching.
It depends, right? I mean, if we take somebody wrong, we're gonna make more than 2.
Yeah,
So,
sure.
it's always situationally dependent. I don't wanna.
No, I just-
Every time we're gonna come here
Yeah.
with Wisconsin and.
No, and I don't expect that, but I just didn't understand, and you know, people don't know all people don't know all the facts, I just asking you directly, that's more productive.
Well, and I can tell you a bit of a story. I'll give you a question in a second. I can tell you a bit of a story. One of my training lieutenants relates this all the time. Young cop, and when you're young, I don't know if you guys are all the same way, you might be a little bit aggressive and gun ho. And they had a pursuit, they were chasing the guy. Guy crashed, jumped out, he jumped out, chased him right into the woods, tackled him, took him into custody, super proud of himself. They marching the guy back out, and he's just happy. And his sergeant grabbed him and said, "Show me where you found him." And they walked, they put him in the car, walked back in there, and there was a gun in him. And he says, "You could have been killed." And they would have got him, no one would have got him. And
Yeah, I wasn't
that's
there.
a good reminder. So our deputies, we tell them, "Hey, we're not going to go in there unless we've got somebody's in sight so that we're safe." Like, I would rather be able to slowly respond,
Yes.
and then just kind of take it easy, surround the areas, make sure deputies and come in. So we're sending 2 every time that we get a call in this area.
Okay,
But again, nothing in 60 days.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. Sorry, I'm trying to be snarky here.
yeah, no, it's fine, I just wanted to, that was my main concern is if we do get a call about this individual, are there gonna be 2 officers out there?
And we're coming to, and we're coming.
Yeah, and I just wanna make sure, because it sounded like what I heard was they didn't go in the tree line period, and I'm like, that doesn't make any sense, there's no law preventing them from entering that tree line.
It's
So,
not, I've got, I don't know how many examples on video of us scratching through the woods of people and kids and somebody there. You had a question?
So that was my daughter that called, it was 2-year-old, so it said that it was an adult that called in. And so I'm just curious to know follow up, what did happen, because they were supposed, it was part that they did deem as not a worker in the neighborhood, so. I raised my other one with the LAPD officer, so I appreciate you guys do, and probably stood her a little too much to be a little too concerned, but
So the guys, I'm gonna go off my understanding, so that way,
Yeah.
and I will sit there. They found a car parked up in one of these little, bars. A couple of construction workers in the car. Now, they were up there. I don't want to get too detailed, but they were up in there, it was finished, and our guys responded to that. And they said, well, and they went back to the foreman and said, this is what happened.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, perfect, okay.
Any other questions? No, I was that fast. Which was?
Just touching base on what he said, over on Cox Road, right before 840, there's a King Farm. It's a horse farm, it's been there for a long time. Prior to the county going to 1-5, that got grandfathered in. Bob Parks, before he sold the company, and changed to Auburn, had that under contract, and he's going to do development there. It's approved for 62 homes, don't quote on that, somewhere around 62 homes. John Blakes, who's the developer of High Park Hill, has bought that and is developing it. You're gonna see roughly 60 homes over there. Going back to Bob Park, they bought half of the farm, Burns Farm. I think I touched on this last time I was here, at the corner of Patterson Road and Fort Highway. There will be several hundred homes there. There's going to be, the exit will be on Fort Highway. I don't know if it's going to be signalized, yet or not. And, so you're going to see that happen. It's already been approved by the county. There's going to be a red light installed at the corner of McDaniel and Arnold Road, which will help out traffic. And maybe say help out the amount of wrecks we have to respond to there. So there will also be, the True Doors master plan and impact on the area. They have agreed to put up signalized traffic lights at 840. So on the on ramp, and from 840 to traffic lights. That should be happening fairly soon. I don't know if it's going to be the end of this year or next year. That would be not. Yes, yes. All out. All out. In the afternoons, you ever come from Fort Worth, or trying to get off there, go left, south, highway. It's ridiculous. I am running for election next year, as everybody will be. I did spearhead kind of their pay raise. It's never been done before. Jeff has done the sheriff for 32 years. We figured out that it cost every homeowner about $10 on their taxes. And I was very honest when I ran, that I'm running on public safety. I stand by that now, and I voted for $10 tax increase. There's no telling what people are saying about me, but yes, I did that to raise their pay, because my theory is I want the best of the best. And in Williamson County, I only want the top-notch cops. I don't want somebody to just try to do a temporary job without around. If you hear something crazy, call me after, and I'll tell you if I did it or not, but I did vote for a $10 tax increase on those taxes per month, to support their pay. I stand by it, so.
You also, I kind of give you a little update on our agency, your agency, really. The Williamson County Sheriff's Office is a 300-person agency. 350 is where we're always slotted. We run off 320 most of the time. For a long time, when Sheriff Buesler took over, we got to 240. We were just hemorrhaging people. We're back up in over 300 now. We're moving the right direction. We have a long ways to go. A lot of the systems we were using were antiquated. We were using cell phones as our body cameras. And it was crazy, absolutely crazy. We've just purchased a new software system for our reports that integrates with our body cams and our tasers. You see Deputy Brown is wearing one of our new body cams in the taser. So when he draws that taser, that body cam kicks on. You know, we make sure, and then it will also flag that video for us to review. We want to make sure that we give our deputies the best tools they have to be successful. You see the grommet hole in his uniform? That's what his cell phone cameras said. That's what these guys were working with. And they were making $20,000 a year listening. I'm super grateful that like Deputy Brown and some of these guys suck us through, suck it out. Because he's a great deputy. I'm really grateful for the commissioner's active support. Don't have anything at all. I am the transfer of this country, most of stuff. Some things I can't.
I'll bring up one more thing real quick, and I'll be quiet. Y'all all got a reappraisal card in your bag. And you're gonna notice more than likely that, your taxes did go up because of reappraisal, not because of the two-way tax. The county was behind, way undervalued. There's a state law that says the county's budget for, taxes has to be net neutral, so the values went up tremendously, but the tax rate comes back down. So it's not like we voted for that, that's tax. That's because we all got reappraised. They're going to get it, I'm told from, Brad Cohen, the property assessor, who's also elected official, that they're going to, this time, the tell you it's supposed to be good, but they're going to be going, basing sales off, real-time sales off your neighbor's house. If your house is coming a little sort of good, obviously, don't know what's inside, but, and that means your house is going to be appraised at next time. So they're going to use real time to get the property value up where they need to be, because, most of you have $2 million homes, and your homes are appraised at $700,000. So, like with other neighbors, that's just the way they decided. You have a question about that?
Regarding this inside, the new developer, so the old developer passed, there's a new developer who's taken over. Do you feel assured that he's gonna carry this on with the same way it was set up? Is he changing anything or?
I can tell you that a shadow of a doubt, he is going to continue exactly what was approved, and we will not use it. Or he's gonna have,
No problem. Is there, from that northern part of the neighborhood, does it have access to Murfreesboro Road?
so on the left side, which is almost, Herschel Garden was kind of across the street from y'all's, subdivision, that whole small house with the barn, and all up there to the barn. So right, this is right next door. This is right next door, right there, to that. So, yes, we'll have access to 96 here, we'll have access to 96 here. With this lot will be signalized, this light will not, this will not be signalized as far as my understanding. Again, walking trails throughout, 12 feet wide, bring up the golf course or whatever, and this is all open to the public to travel freely.
I can't see that back. Well, that right across the street from First Run, or is it?
Right across the website.
From right across the street from First Run in our neighborhood.
Yeah, just across, so y'all are right here, I believe, right there, and so it'd be kind of like diagonal across, yes.
Okay, I just wondered if it's not that we're our traffic getting out of this.
I don't want to misspeak. I've not seen the traffic plan for this. As far as my understanding goes, there is no signalized light here. This one does not have an exit on the 96. This one does. So it's further down the path on there. Right next to where Mike hides himself in the trailer, right next to that is where this entrance would come out.
Are we okay to take a picture of that?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you all.
Hi, thanks for meeting me, from the board and the vice president, and we're going to share a few, board updates of what we've done and some things that we're working on, doing over the next year. We do have a quarterly newsletter that's going to be going out. A lot of this is very similar. We're going to send it out tomorrow with a recap. We're also recording the video tonight, so we can send it out. Hopefully, more transparency, be patient. I know that's what we hear a lot. So one, a few things that we plan to do after these meetings, and then when we meet, send out another communication on what's been discussed and what we're looking for. So a few concerns that have come up at the pool, which I think is always a concern. The landscaping in particular. Obviously, we had a very large incident this year with one of the storms and the mulch thrown in, and it was a big mess. So we've gotten a quote, we'll probably get a couple more on how we can fix it up, we can get rid of a lot of the mulch, we can get rid of a lot of that plant, so it can be, easily maintained, it can be rock bedding somehow. So we're working on getting a quote for that, and then we can moving into the fall. Furniture, that is the furniture we had since we moved in, so we will be getting new furniture for next season. Right now, what we have since we will be moving in just a couple more months. So more umbrellas, more tables, lawn chairs, all those things. Yes, there's also been complaints about the cleanliness of the pool and the bathrooms. We have contacted the pool company, we have set that up. They are coming to clean the pool 5 days a week. So if you're saying that the pool's not clean, as we always say, take a picture, send it to Brian, let us know. But when the pool company does come, they take a picture, it's time stamped, and they send it to us. I don't think they're taking a whole video, but I know they're taking a picture to show us that they were there, and it's gonna clean, if there's a spot in the corner, do this. Sorry about that, if it's a huge area, obviously, concerned that they should be coming 5 days a week during this. The bathrooms were unfortunately not being taken care of, so I would say that that was something that was missed on and the agreement that we had with that. So those are now been cleaned, power washed, there's regular maintenance until they get this. So apologies for that, we were bringing those sort of things, the signs that were being bugs, people are not being redistributed, but those should be taken care of for the rest of this season. We've had talks before, I know we talked about it last year, about, potential walking trails, playgrounds. So we are gonna look into what that's gonna cost. We'll do the same thing that we did for the gate, right? So everybody was kind of concerned about getting the gate a while back. We will get quotes, we'll see if it's in the budget, if it's not in your budget, we'll leave it to you guys to vote on. And if there's a cost you guys are willing to incur for those items, and if that votes. And we need like 66% of you to vote on it in order to use those funds. So that is the thing that will be coming up. Okay.
Sorry, okay, is the new neighborhood on the backside of the gate?
I don't think so, the states.
It looked like it, but not, it looks like they got power and stuff that they could possibly put in the gate, so.
It's possible I wasn't on the instruction.
Could they get in for the one up front versus that, like, there's no other that you did.
Correct, we were talking about the 2 entrances at the front, but the homes in the back are their own, they're gonna be their own HOA, they're gonna be their own ward, so they could potentially go to be there. Yes.
So I'm gonna very fast now.
Okay.
Common areas in this, I know you guys are doing that, but we were glad to make it into the road, because we hoped that people would stop pulling in to the mud and back. If they have a gate, there's no way for them to turn around, we still have to, I had a landscaper try to do a turn on the right side, they got stuck and slid into my yard, and they actually were agate and get unstuck. So if there's a gate, and I know you don't know this yet, but what are the plans to alleviate this issue? Because people still pull up in the block area and turn around. It's a muddy mess, and on the plans that they did consider the gate for the whole cemetery. So I guess what are the thoughts on that whole area?
Yeah, no, I totally get it. I mean, I'm on that street, I know that, and we got on the other side of the economy areas.
I would find out tomorrow what the plan is, and how many days I'm posting on your Facebook wall. So as soon as I have the question one, so yes, this game, kind of.
Is there, I mean, people are still, I don't even drive down to the one. It's still happening.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the best thing that we can continue to do is go back to the developer, it is, consider their property to maintain, they're still bond, and it's kind of the same story with saying every year. They will pay their bond back, until everything's taken care of, and I don't know how much they're willing to put in until they're ready to sell that bond and give it over to us. There is still responsibility on their part for sure, and we do reach out to them when we do have things that come up. We just don't know, Greg, it's a good question, like how much leverage we have
for the developers, because there's tons of runoff with this new estate that they're building, we contacted the developer. They might not just, you know,
There's some volume.
Yeah.
Our, guys, county that's head over here for that, if y'all email me, or shoot us on Facebook, whatever it is, that is our office. And, give me your, sorry, I mean, tell me what happened, well, I will, the answers y'all looking for, will go back. So, you do have a lot of that, because they stay on that, and we'll threaten them to hold that money. Honestly, development will go on, like, it's awful.
Right.
So you have to, you have to always pour that money out, this is a good fall for those out there. Yes,
okay.
Just so you know, I mean, it's all that runoff is happening, I mean, we live on Harvard, right down the way, but we see it in everywhere. So I'm a little bit in construction, and there's still had equipment on file, and any runoff or any development, if it gets, switch protocol, so you just email them at the county, they'll come out and either find stop work or maybe fix it one or the other.
Okay, so to be clear, that includes, you guys know, you can be on house to see the number, but that includes the drainage and the fact that we don't have. I guess it would be the street drains would be a huge issue, like we don't have any street drains, do we? Yeah, we don't have all of them. Yeah, they didn't install any street drains on phase two, so that would be also the developer, right? That would be something that they need to do. Is that, I don't think.
That would be another plan, so it's the only, so I think the first one, or the, I just bring spot, or release that thing,
I don't know. Everyone is.
oh.
No, it's not.
I'm sorry, I didn't, so, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so if the bond's not released, and there's a drainage problem on subdivision, you can still get that addressed as well from the developer if there's issues with it.
Because I think that's part of the mud river problem, but also, like you said, the runoff from the mud pit that they have to go across and that people turn around, it's like a double issue. Because there's nowhere for letting go, so just south in front of our houses, but all the people should be using that as a turnaround. So grass can actually grow for one, we're living in like, you know, woods back there, it's crazy. So with that, like you said, that's all something that we can talk to Greg about.
I'm gonna put down 3 email addresses, and don't make sure we're gonna do them. Mine, Aaron Holmes, who is the, planning director, and Phil Happens, and just Aaron, CC me on every email, so they know if I'm tracking this, they're gonna track me a little quicker, just, they don't know what to deal with it on that.
Thank you, Mary, thank you. Let's see. Anything else? We're gonna go over the budget, but we're definitely in a surplus, so that's good, and then we're gonna send a newsletter. Again, the most common question we always seem to get is if you do have a complaint or concern, please email Ryan, the HOA email, the CCS, and really they're not getting us on to the portal, and then there's an app. So the Facebook page is the community page, it's not, you have a complaint, it's not gonna get response on each thing. Your community can respond to it, you guys can get wrong about it to each other. The HOA board is not responsible, will not follow up on actions that are on the Facebook page. It is a.
What's like the protocol, who should we email it to, should Ryan and then CC you guys or?
So there's the HOA email, which we sent out, it's also in the announcement for this, we send it out, every time that. So there's an HOA email that we will welcome to CC us on, email Ryan, use the portal, there's a complaint, and then there's the website. So anything that you want to be addressed, and even told us to be supported. Be supported.
Does HOA have any oversight for the builders?
In what way do you mean with that question?
Well, on the Perch Road, they started building, Heritage Homes started building a house. They've stopped building that house. And so they poured the foundation, they built the brick, you know, the brick wall, the cinder block wall up. And at first, when they stopped building, I thought, well, I don't know what I thought, but as you look at the house, The house is too big for the lot, they put garages in the back, you cannot make no turn into the garage.
Yeah.
That house is, they're gonna have to tear that down or something, but they just stopped building it, and I'm just wondering. What, do we have any recourse, because it looks ugly, and it's just gonna sit there until they.
Technically, the builders own the lots, once it's sold, then it comes over to the HOA. So the builders pay the taxes, they pay for the property, they pay for the building, they pay us, the HOA use. So the builders can come to our meeting and participate, it's gonna be here. So unless they're making, I guess, an egregious conflict into the community with it, I don't think there's much you can do because it's technically their property.
Right, but it just sits there half built, is that not a nice, or is that not?
Or can we have something in the bylaws that gives us a recourse? Because I mean, we get emails about kindergarten signs in our lawns, but this person can have a half-built house by the sky one and God only knows.
Yeah, I don't know, I didn't look into it, I don't know if there's rules against how long it takes to build a house. Cause that's kind of, I guess, our concern, how long.
It probably just wasn't anticipated that.
If you walk by it, you can tell, you cannot put
The
your,
one that has 3 rooms.
you cannot put your car into that garage off that property line, they're gonna have to take it down.
You know.
Yeah, just a follow up about it, just you look at the subdivision before this one, and in their covenants, they had a stipulation on undeveloped lots after so long that they had to put the sidewalks in.
Well, that's not so very
Yeah,
good.
but side of that developer covenant that same developer developed, part was a very good developer previously, so I didn't know if that was in there or not, and so I can check on that.
Yeah, I guess I don't know, because a lot of, and I, somebody will speak up, if they know, I know all of those lots are owned by different builders, right? But I don't know if there's one developer that owns all of it.
Does Heritage work in the other lots in the neighborhood, and are we allowed to continue to build, or they have one that's not?
They have 12 or 13 for them.
If
I count correctly, not all.
okay, yeah, not all of them that are empty are heritage.
No, there's
There's legends and heritage that.
one more left to be built.
Okay. Based on the second.
Yeah, it's based on some.
So we'll look at that.
I think if Heritage owns lot next to us, they own lot next, but there's 2 lots, Heritage still, they have several lots still up.
Yeah.
So. How long is that lot in empty, they're not finished, like, you know.
Several months.
I know what happened, I know that Eric Holmes, had a buyer for that lot, and that buyer planned that floor plan. And then the buyer and Eric Holmes had conflict, and the buyer pulled in. So they have no plans to complete that, is what they said.
Well, you can't use their garage. The house is too big for the lot.
But I assume under some sort of approval process, be allowed that structure is probably approved.
I would assume as well.
I think it's ridiculous to tie back more garage.
If you just look where the property line is and where that garage is, you're not gonna be able to do your car there. Unless you have a mini.
Well, don't you have to go through the builders, have to go through the architectural, like.
Yeah, and it might be some processing, so it's just all the property is done, we go from the city's county, soon.
It's not a studios.
Oh, yeah, soon.
I think that's the name.
Good, vote refine, just the same way we are,
Yes.
or not.
Well, what role does it break? That's the question, because if it's half built, there's nothing in the covenants that says your house can be half built. But there is something in the covenants that says your grass is feet.
So if we want to revise the covenants, if we want to redo the goggles, make them neater, make them more detailed, what's the process? Like how,
66% vote.
when every line of the bylaws are covered?
No, so what you would do is essentially just make an amendment to amend and restate what you want to say. So, for example. You stand up. Oh, I'm sorry. So essentially, if you wanted to, okay, remember a couple years ago when this work came in place, if you were here, we did an amendment for rentals, no short-term rentals are allowed. And that was biggest thing was we had 66%. So everybody got proxies where they showed the person. Proxy is no different than we showing them the person. We need 66% of those, so we did get that, so that amendment is in place. Your bylaws are in place, but amendment sits behind that. So it just adds on to that, your current CCD.
So if we want something to be put in the bylaws, let's say. We wanna be able to find builders if they don't build their house within a certain amount of time, I'm just saying. But say we wanted to do that, he breaks something up that was like that, if the HOA board. You guys could circulate that for the next meeting, and we could say to everyone like, hey, if you care about this, if you want this house, you need to jump in the meeting, if you need to send a copy, you need to say 66%, we all really care about that.
So depending on what it is you want to pass, I would have to run it by the attorney because it may or may not have to be voted on. Because something as simple as the fine policy, that can go to the board. Makes sense? Rules.
Okay, so something like that is gonna.
Is that a comment? Is that-
Yeah, yes, something is something saying the process you go by a certain time, you have to have in your regulars or your CCRs that says that, so you can vote on it.
But once building starts,
You would have 6 months.
right, because it becomes an eyesore, certainly. It's property value, possibly.
Yeah.
I mean, however you would word it, okay.
66% of what, all of them?
All of them, including the builder. And a number of the builders will the majority a lot of times, so you still got some big big lots.
And it has to percent.
Any other person in that class?
That did we know over, I think it's everybody's.
Yeah, I would have to publish some documents, some documents specifically require a ballot vote, which means it has to be paper. It's not specific to that, and you can do it online.
Do the homeowner represent some specific percent?
Yeah, and you actually, whenever, in order for it to be turned over to the HOA, you had to have a certain amount of homeowners.
Something like that.
Right. It's possible, that's. Okay, so just out of curiosity, who was not here last time?
Thank you.
So I gave everybody a packet. It has all the fun stuff in it for this time. I'm gonna go ahead and just cover your current month's budget. Pretty much financial, so we can get a little bit where you're at for half the year. The very last packet, so if you. Anyone else need one? So. Huge amount this year. To 145, which helped a lot because you guys had reserves already done, which helped the plan advance for which you guys have done it. So. You know, landscaping projects, the pool update, doing everything as far as future projects, we have to replace the roof of the pool house, we have to replace the pool, all on the stuff in the future. You got that money already in the bank, and that's on this, you don't have to do a special assessment. You don't have to worry about breaking these anymore. You have gradually over time, you've got money already in the bank and it's ready to go. That's the reserve that is for, it's on the portal, you guys can review it, it's 30-year plan. It's really, really helpful for all these things. It's the sooner you do it, the better off you are. And it helps not so much take blame off anybody, but it helps assure how you are allocating dues, whenever you see why dues go. Your church is say raise dues $1 a year for the next couple of years, or it's that that's tedious and unnecessary. They just raise it a certain amount so you don't do it for the next 10 years. So you're doing the same for a while, so you're good. So it may seem like a high jump, but you're good for a while, but you're not looking something in reserve, let's see on the next page. But for the sake of the end of June, you got $182,000. That's it. We've got $103,000 in reserve. We've also got it in my market account, so you're getting interest rate of about 3.1% right now. So you're under the umbrella that my company has, so it is giving you a higher rate. So you've got more than just 1%. The income statement. This is where you get the detail on the budget. So as of the end of June. So the first, I'm gonna go over the last 4 columns. So you've got all these columns, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7 columns, the last 4 columns. The very last columns of your budget for the year. So we planned or budgeted for $207,000 to be brought into the homeowners. You actually have brought in 136, and you actually have more, $22,000 more than the budgeted so far, which is good because people paid in advance, so on and so forth. If you just go down the list, anything in parentheses is going to be technically a negative because you're under or over budget. So, for example, landscaping or tree and shrub maintenance, we budgeted $2,500 for tree and shrub maintenance, and it's really difficult. Like I'm sure you know because you don't know what's in the fall. Pretty small, they happen. So we try to plan for it, but depending on what it is, you're gonna have trees sometimes, it may cost $500, it may cost $2,000.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, your insurance package, is your liability insurance in there?
Yes.
For trees falling, damaging the home, there's more kids.
So a tree falling is considered an active death. And so if a tree falls from a common area into somebody's yard, then it is, if it falls in your yard, that person of the tree is that person's responsibility, and your homeowner's insurance will cover it. And then everything outside of that area is the HOA's responsibility, because that's considered an active death.
So, you got that.
If you tell me about it, before it falls, then more than happy to get rid of it.
Yeah, that's my question. It's really good to overlay back there, finding things outside of my instance, there's a pretty good letter on that, it's not very development. But it might just write it out, but it's right there, so you have a quarter of a mile.
Send me
You know, yeah.
So I'll send you pictures of it because I don't know about it, I can't take care of it. And I have a great tree guard, tree guy, takes care of all the trees around here, so if he wants to look at it, it needs to remove, we're trying to pass and we take care of it.
Yeah, I it was like, they look at it, he's the one that they got it. I'll it's I'm gonna do it, it's all on the lady side.
Alright.
This is like not where I'm going to be, but in our building, here, I think they're really fun on something. And it turned out the X-ray was being something liable because they were not even two buildings. And so he might have a partner's going for every 5 years. Let's see if we should because there was.
I actually call it, they crush cars and yes, very much need. So it's one of those things we do have landscapers to books and one of there's an arborist that works for the landscaping company. Right, this is rounds for me. He does tell me about certain things that need to be taken care of. They are a problem. So I got covered there. There was a tree in the community in Franklin that it was a big tree and it crushed 2 cars would be down and it thankfully it wasn't the common area at all. I'm glad it didn't hurt anybody, but it was in somebody's front yard, luckily it ended across 3 front yards and it took out everyone's cars that were leaving.
On the subject of trees, are you going to replace the tree that's ready to turn into the yard area?
Yes, all the trees are to be replaced in the fall, so they have a better chance of survival because there's no variation of there.
Okay, just on maintenance, there are a couple areas still, like in the town, some in lots that, there's a lot of on. And I'm wondering if, we will also be, assessing these areas. So specifically, as you enter in onto Fort Union Way, and you pass the Adams House and, the second house, the common area, right, which we have that sidewalk, and always covered on,
Where the cabin?
no, this is not.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
I had a couple people see if that happened, that's been a problem, and I actually sent those to the committee, see if we can put anything down. I'm just gonna really do not, send them to see, but I know there's, something you can put down that might help prevent it from running off.
it's been a problem. I agree, and I see, and so you can't even walk on this sidewalk, even if you walk off the sidewalk, you're gonna walk on one side. Which is curious that that was part of the plan in cleaning that area.
That, absolutely, that's something that we've addressed, and that's something that we'll continue to look at, and hopefully we can, it's doing it, so, it's all seen it before, so. But continue, please let me know if you see if it's always that, then it's please. Okay, I'll put that one picture, that I didn't mention, send that to one of the bigger companies, we can come up with a plan. Yeah.
This is kind of a weird question, but I don't know, if it's the HOA responsibility or someone else, but there's a few lights on those names, like street lights. Where like all the stuff are either going out or do we should maybe do that, do we send that to the board if we notice?
We sent it to I refer to the see if you want to.
Like explaining what's to.
The goals, so we should.
Okay.
Like you, the issue is all police for technically, they just get there, we see that, but trucks do. So. I know this. I know this might be a little crazy for me, and I just have questions.
So there is the line of internet, is that to pay, what is that?
So the internet takes care of the, so your access to the pool. It is all controlled remotely and it allows you to, the gate system, it allows access to the cloud base. And so everything in your internet allows your gate access and allows the emergency.
And I remember we put that old phone there.
Yeah.
First, that it should be calling.
Oh, yeah.
They would have to do that some years ago.
Yeah, just automatically break.
Yeah.
So there's no calling and emergency.
Well, it's just people up in.
Internet as opposed to like a radio.
So it's just backup, but it's connected to the internet as well. Any other questions or the financials? Now, again, these are posted in the portal every month, and they are available, so if you have questions, there's something pops up, and you email me, you may call by all means, let me know. Yeah.
We just saw a replacement light up folder.
Weird question, you it before?
Oh, that's for the deers for meeting all dance. We have a different entrance and the pool for the deers over here.
Yeah, they do have people little flower plants that everybody has to pay. Yeah.
We have a lot of. You mentioned additional tables, sufficient pool, I can see that.
So we have it like budgeted in, so you can see, but we haven't actually sent any other numbers.
We would get that later in the year because it takes weeks, that's everything we do. So we would probably do it after the pool closes, that way we can get it all together, get all the old stuff out, and now there's something to be see anybody for empty for a couple days, and then all the stuff in, so it's there ready when the spring comes.
I just the line.
Oh, I would be under pool maintenance repairs. Yeah.
Where are we with license plate no? Or
License plate readers?
Yeah, do you there or we still like that?
Doesn't work since that's it, I don't think we gone any further with it, it's fine.
Yeah.
They're about $6,000 a piece, so they're not cheap.
Yeah, and then some of the okay, but wondering about it.
How much is the monitor? Is that a service that monitors them?
No, so it uploads everything to the cloud and holds it for 30 or 60 days. And then you pay for that monthly service to have that ability.
The hardware is great, one free, that's not there. That's the lights.
That's the light that's not there, it's pretty much replaces the wall, our favorite version is fine. Any other questions?
Alright, also did paint and fix up the fences in the grass. So that was something that we had to cover this year as well.
So the last portion of this before we're concluded is the voting where there's one spot that's opened up and it's part of your packet. So is Kenny Harder. So as part of all your packets, I think you'll need to everybody about. Anybody need pens? So just put a check mark next to 5 on both these.
Well, that was just a.
You want to talk to me?
I and also if you go to work anyway, you want to see it, have the against my sort of record. This is my. I love the board, so if maybe see that the drugs that we have, it's going to be confirmed. So we just want to, as soon as you can. And we're going on with the more, so we can be on to level, really starting where they figure out a way to be easier to find, use of tool, things like that, and do these years. Thanks.
Are there any other questions before we go?
I think all 1 year term.
I have to remember.
The four of us.
The.
Four of us, 1 year.
Yeah.
If you don't technically do it, we don't.
We're on, there's one, but we don't have to, that's how it's fine.
And that this next person will automatically get paid.